So how do you talk to young people about forgiveness and letting things go? Well, that's a bit of a clue to start with, but how about you also use torture chambers? We are chill, and this is how we roll.
Everybody knows the words of this song, so feel free to sing along, everybody. You're going to be introduced to some friends now, okay?
been guilty of being a little grudge in the past? Come on, who holds grudges? You know you do. Everybody does sooner or later, right? Okay. But the thing is, see, just like kind of tonight, grudges actually don't help anyone. They just make everybody's life worse. If you hold a grudge against someone, I guarantee it won't improve your life one little bit. All it will do is make you continually upset about whatever it was that upset you. You see, being a grudge isn't letting go of anything that affects someone else. It's about keeping hold of something that affects you. So if you don't want to be affected by something anymore, do you know what you just have to do? There you go. Letting go is the only way to make a grudge go away. And here's the thing. I know a lot of you guys carry around a lot of stuff with you. And you know, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, it's not just hates and hurts that you have trouble letting go of. Sometimes it's things that have been done to you, but sometimes it's all kinds of things in your life that you need to let go of, but you just can't. And you know, there's 10 simple words, and it's just this. Reaching for the future requires letting go of the past. You cannot be in chapter 1 and chapter 2 of the book at the same time. You need to finish one before the next makes any sense. If you want to move on to chapter 2 of your life, you have to let go of chapter 1. And that means all the stuff that happened in it as well. It sounds simple, and actually, it is. It's actually a lot more simple than you might think. And we've been talking about stuff for the last few weeks. I was supposed to be click, but it wasn't. Go on. Yeah. Right, we've been talking for the last few weeks about who you are. We've been saying for ages that who you are is who you are from the inside out. Unfortunately, you ain't being defined by stuff that affects you from the outside in. So there's you, who you are, and there's what you do. And great, that's good if that defines you, but unfortunately, you're too often defined by what's done to you. And a lot of who you are just becomes a reaction to what people have done to you, what people have said to you, how much people have hurt you, how much people have treated you badly over this or that. And suddenly, you're not just plotting your own course in life, you're avoiding things that will hurt you like last time. Suddenly, you're not in charge anymore. The stuff from the past is in charge. And you know what? All you need to do is let go. The things that happened yesterday, well, they're in yesterday. They're only in today because you're keeping hold of them. If you let go of them, then they belong in yesterday and they're not affecting you anymore. Grudges are nasty things. And sometimes you have grudges against people. Sometimes you have grudges against things that happen to you in life that are just not fair. But the solution to all of it is exactly the same. Just let it go. And that's the things we've been talking about the past few weeks. We talked about jealousy, and then I got told off that we were actually talking about envy. Great, okay, well the same thing applies to both. We were talking about anger and stuff, and there's all kinds of things that really, it would be good to let go of. Your life would be so much better if you did. And so, from next week on, we're going to talk just about that, about letting go.
If you've been following us at all, you will know that we use these staging blocks. These are fairly easy to get hold of. A lot of high schools have them and have either thrown them out or they're willing to lend them. But anyway, we'll deal with how to get this kind of stuff another time. But these are just the staging blocks that we always use and we've been using since I started this channel. And they're just stacked on top of each other to make a bit of a column there. It actually, what you're looking at right here is a naked TARDIS, which is exactly the same thing. But anyway, these are just covered with bin bags so that the person who stands inside can't see behind them or off to the sides, which means people who stand behind them or off to the sides can do things without these guys being able to see it. So you see there's one and there's two. This is actually using some black sheeting we had, but we found that this wasn't as good at keeping the light out, so we've had to line this with cardboard on the back, because we use cardboard for everything. But there you go. So now, again, 3 chambers, and in all of them, the person can't see out the back. These are really easy to get into and get out of. This is not something that holds someone in against their will. The fact that it's a cage is purely symbolic. They just choose to stand in it, and it kind of says this is the person who's the target. Obviously, you don't actually want to be restricting someone's movement against their will, because that's kind of slavery and imprisonment, and we really don't want to be doing that. This right here is part of a music stand. Most churches have these and use these, but that's the part of it there, and you'll notice some pieces of string, and attached to the pieces of string are some toy spiders, if I can grab the thing there.
Easy. These things, it was about £3 for like 9 of them or something. Actually, it might have been 12. But anyway, so it's a bunch of them, and all you do is you hold it up, and it dangles spiders, and that way we can dangle spiders over the top and into the cage there. You will also see here some rubber spiders that we can add into that, and these furry gloves. These are fingerless gloves. They look black and furry, which is good enough for making the person who's having spiders dropped on them think that a spider is crawling up their back or whatever it is. So that's that. And then, of course, we have the clowns. We've used these before. If you go and look at our House of Fun night, these are the exact same masks from back then. So yeah, we're going to be doing that. And along with that, a water pistol. You'll have seen us use these many times. These come in so very handy. Various masks and implements. And the idea is to keep coming up from behind these guys and catching them out with something unexpected. And that's that. Behind the cages, you just see this, and that's because the people who are terrorizing our victims are hidden behind these things so they can move around at the back without being seen. It's the unexpectedness which gets these guys, the fact that they don't know what's coming. So that's a thing. What you'll notice is with none of these things is there any possibility of anybody being harmed at any point. There's minimal physical contact between the people doing the terrorizing, who are themselves teenagers, and the people being terrorized. Also, the victims and the perpetrators are actually friends. In fact, it was the perpetrators that nominated their friends for these things. What you'll also find is that I stand with the victims all the way throughout, and I'm checking with them, are you okay to be here? Are you sure? We're keeping an eye on them. We're making sure they're not too scared. They're not actually getting freaked out. They're just being made mildly uncomfortable, but they're willing to stay there. So remember to take that kind of care of your young people. The idea is to amuse them and freak them out a little bit, but not too much, but not just abjectly terrify them and give them nightmares. You don't want to be doing that. With all of these events, the idea is it's by consent. They want to do this. They want to be involved in this. If they don't, they go. You let them go. As you can see with the cages, it's just something to stand in. It's nothing that actually restrains them. You can climb in and out of these things anytime you want. Let me just show you briefly how we did the grudge thing. Meet Diane. Diane is the maker of the things. Hello, Diane.
Hello.
Would you like to tell us how you made the grudge costumes?
Yes, certainly. Got a plain single bed sheet. Made 2 dress shapes. They're just basic shapes. Different sizes for different people. Still use the same hemline, so that saves on a bit of sewing. And just made them up, really. It's basic and simple.
Why was there different sizes?
Different people.
Right, okay. So
there's somebody who's 6 foot something, and
yep.
It's going to be.
So you've got to know who's doing this
yes.
before you. Right, okay. So you'd not just make a generic costume,
no.
Make them for the right people. Because you'll see the size difference between our guys. It would have been very silly if they were all wearing the same dress. Then finally, the wig. We bought just a job lot of these from Amazon. It was like 3 for a tenner or something like that. You just go looking around for a black wig. You need to make sure it's the right style. Obviously, the Grudge doesn't have a perm, so make sure it's the style you want. Let me just talk about the fact that we're using the Grudge. Okay, to be honest, I'm not a big fan of The Grudge or any other horror movie. I'm not a horror movie fan, and when we actually do teaching on lifestyle and things like this, where we go a bit deeper, we actually talk to young people about horror movies and the effect that they can have on you. So this is not something that we are pushing, but we recognize the fact that this is one of those pop culture themes that these teens already know before they come to us, and evil things can be used for good. So we're going to use this to talk to them about forgiveness, about letting go, about not holding on to grudges. So our night tonight, it's called Lockdown. That's what we're talking about. It might be backwards in the camera that you can see there, but anyway, that's what it says. Trust me. So yeah, we don't advocate getting horror into a church, but to be honest, these kids bring it in their own minds. So let's use it for the right purpose, which is what we do. So that's it. 3 torture chambers, a few silly little gloves and masks and rubber spiders, and some costumes made up by the always wonderful Diane, some silly black wigs, and you've got yourself a grudge night. This is a more involved night than others. You'll notice the last few weeks have been very simple. They've been what I call level 1, maybe level 2 events. This is a high level 2, level 3 event. So you can only do one of these every 6 weeks, 2 months, something like that, because they do take more props and more setup and things like that. So you
can't do this kind of thing every week unless you've got a lot of resources. But this is something that anybody should be able to do with a bit of time and a bit of planning. Anyway, more stuff coming up later. For now, the usual, no comments below. You've got to go to wearechill.com and you can comment there. You can find links to all the other videos and other stuff. So join in the conversation, and even if you want to tell me what your stuff is, then sure, get in touch, let me know. I'll come out and video what you're doing and put it on the channel. I want to spread knowledge about what youth clubs are doing in this country. It's not all about me, it's all about the work. It's all about what we're doing on this mission that we're on. Okay, so if you want to get in touch, let's get into partnership. But that's it for now for me. We are Chill, and that was how we roll. Okay, welcome to the end of night rave. I just wanted to show you what I've done with the torture chambers for the rave at the end.